All right. Welcome to Freestyle Friday, which is actually being recorded on a Saturday morning. And the reason for that is earlier in the week, I recorded my Freestyle Friday. And I was in a place of a little bit of anger. And I literally recorded a whole episode coming from a place of anger. And right before we got ready to publish it, I decided, let's hold off. Let me think it through. Let me pause before I put that out into the world. Just because I was having one of those challenging times and days doesn't mean I need to put that on everyone else. I am human. I do react sometimes. But I was not proud of the information we're sending out. So, again, welcome to Freestyle Friday. It's uncut, unedited, unscripted. And today, I'm going to jump into some of the stuff I was covering earlier in the week, but from a different perspective or point of view. I want to come from a place of gratitude. And boy, it's tough. It is tough when you're challenged on a personal level and people say things or come at you from a different angle. It's hard to operate from gratitude. I'm someone sometimes who can get a little defensive and come back at you. I'm very good with words in a bad way sometimes and how I can come back at people. But I want to tell you this. If you're taking on a new challenge, you're doing something new, you're pushing yourself out there, you feel like you're starting to make some moves. One of the things that really will affirm or confirm that you're on the right track, that you are disrupting the market, is when people start throwing shade or hate at you or blaming you for things that you have no control over or stuff that you're not doing. And what I've noticed is the bigger we start to win, the more this happens. And I won't go into great detail this week from what happened, but I did receive a message this week from somebody who I really don't look up to and don't really care to get a message from, but blaming me for several things. And something I have had no control over for a couple years. And so I found that, excuse me, I just found it interesting. At first it was, I was extremely angry. I was. And then once I started diving into it and thinking it through a little bit, I realized that I've had several wins recently, and there have been some public wins. They've been posted in social media and other places, and I feel this is just an attack at me to try to slow me down, right? So if you're getting some hate or some shade from some people that are coming at you, chances are you're on the right track, right? You're making some big moves. So I had to really look at it. Am I affecting people the right way? Like my friend Damon West says, am I infecting or affecting people? And I believe I'm affecting people in the right way. I've had to go back and look through some things. And it's interesting how God works. So I got that DM, or I received the DM, and I went through it. And I got super angry. And a few minutes later, I received a text message from two of my top clients. A picture of these two together meeting for the first time ever. In person. They met on Zoom calls and stuff like that. We were in a mastermind and those types of things. But two of my top clients, two guys that are under the age of 30 that are really disrupting the mortgage industry. They're putting up some big numbers and doing some things their way, right? Changing the way they do business. And I realized that was a message to me that God was saying, hey, don't worry about what just happened. Focus more on what you're affecting. And you had everything to do with these two gentlemen meeting each other for the first time. You had everything to do with the track they're on and the stability they're creating in the marketplace and the things they're doing for their personal families, along with all the families they're touching and helping, not only for their support staff, but the people's that they're helping close loans. So, yeah, so I'm glad I didn't publish the one before. But I'm going to go into a little more detail. Mindset's a powerful thing, and the power of belief, I believe, is right there with the level of putting in all the work. You have to believe that you're going to get the results that you want, or even greater, and have a clear vision of where you want to go. See, I had a clear vision for a long time, and what's cool is something popped in my time hop the other day. It was literally doing my affirmations about the things I was going to accomplish in the future, like becoming a best-selling author, a keynote speaker, a coach. These were all things that I had said as my affirmations 3 years ago, and I recorded them and put them out to the world. Well, I'm an international best-selling author now. I've been a keynote speaker at multiple events. And I I believe, one of the top coaches in the industry. Okay. And not just for me believing that, but the feedback and information I'm getting from other people. So it's not about what other people believe you can do. It's about what you believe you can do. And I had somebody right when I was getting ready to make that when I first started coaching a few years ago, look at me across the table and say, so I heard you're going to start coaching. And I said, yeah, I am. And they looked at me and said, I don't see it. I don't see it. Here's the cool thing about that. Like when someone says they don't see it, guess what? They don't have to see it. It's not their vision. It's your vision. So challenge that amongst yourself. Do you see where you want to go? Do you believe it's possible? Are you willing to put in the work, make the sacrifices, give up something now to earn something later? That's all that matters. The only person that matters if they can see it is you. That's it, right? And I tell myself that all the time. I look at the challenges we've had in our coaching business and our consulting business and speaking, and we work every day to get on more stages and build more relationships and try to be different in the space. And the main thing is that you can see it. You can see your own. I would tell you now, if you probably ask that person, they can probably see it now, right? They can probably see it now. Because what happens is people doubt you. Like they'll throw the shade at you really because it's coming from them inside because they know they can't do it or they're not willing to take the risk to do it, to take on the challenges, to grow, to be bigger, better, to chase their dreams. So they'll try to hold you back from doing that. But boy, once you start winning, they become your biggest fan. Look, I don't need somebody to be my biggest fan. I've got my wife. She's my support system. She believes in me all the time. But again, the only vision that matters is your own. The only person that matters if you can see where you're trying to go is you, not anybody else. And it may surprise you, the people the closest to you may be the ones that say the things that want to hold you back. You know, I remember this conversation all the time that Andy Frisella, the owner of First Form, talks about. And for years, people would say to Andy as he was opening a supplement store and sleeping on a mattress in the back storage room, people would say, hey, Andy, when are you going to get a real job? Are you still chasing that crazy thing? I think Andy might have done okay because the only vision he cared about was his own, right? He had a vision. He followed it and went after it. I have a vision. I'm following it and going after it. I had another individual when I was making that move, look at me and go, hey, it sure is cool you're taking that leap of faith. Again, I don't know, seem passive aggressive to me. I'm taking a leap of faith. I'm going for it, right? I'm going for it. I'm going to chase my dreams consistently. My vision is always evolving to get more, to be better, to serve more. And I see it clearly, right? But I do need those checks from time to time where people send me that DM to try to put me on my place. Or we can look through the hundreds of rejections we've received from speaking, coaching, or consulting. We get told no every day. Every day we're told no. But I still look for ways to get there. Still ways to find the stage. And those of you who don't know the story of Tommy John, you all know the Tommy John surgery. But Tommy John was a pitcher that pitched for over 20 years in Major League Baseball. I think it was 23 years. He was the first pitcher to ever get that surgery and come back from it. They usually called it dead arm surgery, like you were done. But I want to be the Tommy John of everything I do. And Tommy John always tried to find a way to get someone to say yes, even if they said no. If there was a small opening, he would find an opportunity, like getting into spring training when he was 43 years old and still having a good season at that age. So I want to be the Tommy John of what I'm working on and doing, right? I'm Chris Welton, but I'm not going to try to be exactly him, but I'm going to follow some of the lessons he's taught, right? Some of the things I've learned from reading about him. And the clarity of vision is key. When I'm done with this call today, I'm actually going to sit here at my desk and work on my clarity of vision for 26. I did my business planning strategy session planning yesterday for myself. We've got all the goals mapped out. We've already started the disciplines today on September 27th for 2026. We've changed our day, what it looks like compared to what it did this year, and we're going to go after it. I have clarity of vision. I don't care what anybody else's vision looks like or anybody else's opinion of what it is I'm trying to accomplish. I've learned some lessons recently about that too, reaching out to some people that I thought were on my side or I thought I could leverage relationships with them, asking them to, hey, how about this? How about that? And then they want to throw all their opinions back at you on why that won't work. And is that strategy right? Would you do this, that? I think the toughest part of that is in my industry, it's every man for themselves. Like to try to get on stages and try to get in front of people. It's up to you, right? It's up to you. Very, very rarely is someone going to say, hey, you should call, I'm a speaker, but you should call Chris Welton and have him come speak. Not going to happen. Okay. Now I'd love to. I met with I have a new friend I met through football here locally. He's a retired professional football player. And he was talking about more stages and everything. As soon as I got out of the meeting with him, I started sending a couple text messages and DMs and saying, hey, are you guys looking for a Super Bowl, retired Super Bowl, a champion to speak? But that's the way I look at it and who I am. But I don't expect the same from anyone else. All right. So the moral to this call or the baseline or the storyline or whatever you want to call it is clarity of vision. Doesn't matter if anybody else sees it. The closer you get to breaking through or doing big things, people are going to come from all directions telling you can't or blaming things on you for their life not being the way they want it to be. And I would challenge you, if you're one of those people that is blaming others for where you currently are, maybe you should get better and stop being bitter. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Get better and stop being bitter. If you're not doing something every day to grow your business and the talent and the people around you, you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose it. If you don't change what you're doing today, you'll be in the same spot or worse a year from now. This was Freestyle Friday, even though it was recorded on a Saturday, but we'll get it published today. I hope to see you all next week.